Hi, good people. This is Deborah. Hope your day and night is going well for you. Let me read the disclaimer. All the information provided on this channel is for educational purposes only, and this channel does not promote or encourage misuse of the information. I will give my opinions about some things. Respect others because you want others to respect you. We have different journeys. My thoughts matter, and so do yours. I will use words not intended to offend people, but to describe my point of view and how I see things. Images are for illustration purposes. However, content is paramount. I make images for illustration. Unfortunately, I am unable to recreate the original image. Take what resonates with you and what does not resonate with you, put it on the shelf, throw it away. Now, this particular uh, posting is about, do you get drunk and be in denial? I'm just going to give you some stories about myself. Now, I don't share my stories with you uh, because you know my business, even though it is private business. But I share my business with you because I want you to feel and to know that someone else have either went through some hurtful situations, not exactly as yours, but hurtful. And they take different precautions, or what they think is precautions, to help along because they're not uh, surviving, they're just existing. And you know, and I know, if you're at my age, 67 or close to it, you know what it takes to exist. You ain't happy. Nothing down here could make you happy. I assure you. Material stuff does not make you happy. And the loneliness that you're feeling inside, if you with someone or not, it is the loneliness that you desire for your higher self. I promise you, that's what it is. A lot of people think the soul is outside of the body. It's not. There is no soulmate outside of yourself. It's within. Now, um, because I had a lot of things going on in my life that was out of control. My marriage was out of control. Uh, my relationship with my children, well, the main one, the oldest one that's now passed, was out of control. Um, my money, it was out of control because I used to just spend it. I was making good money. Don't misinterpret me, but I just did not know how to budget my money, because anytime I felt like I was about to get depressed, I would go shopping. Uh, wasn't a big eater, but I was definitely an alcoholic. And I want to share that with you because I think that's just important. People may say, well, I'm grown. Nobody tells me what to do. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just basically trying to share my story and how I got over being an alcoholic, and how I have mastered no longer being an alcoholic, because I found out the root of my problem. And so when you deal with the root of your problem, yes, 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 it's painful. It I ain't gonna tell you that it's not. It's very painful. Anytime you're dealing with a problem or taking ownership of your problem, it's painful. And some people rather go drinking, go shopping, and some people overindulge. Anything that you overindulge with, you are an habitual um, person. Uh, you are addicted. Okay, if you are habitual indulgent, I don't care what it is. You know, um, I just do a lot of reading, and I read statistics. Then, like I say, I allow my intuition to tell me things. Uh, and it may just be at the end of the day my higher self. I do know that there is a creator, and that creator is connected to my higher self. Uh, and I strive so much to walk in my higher self daily. But it doesn't always work because the struggle still is within. For those of you that are Bible readers, go to Romans 7. Somebody named Paul, which I know it wasn't a Paul, it's an imaginary person, but what they put in there was pretty good analysis. And it tells you, and let me go to it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to it. It's Romans 7. And keep in mind that everything in this Bible is not true, but there are some things that is. We experience it because the world just go in a circle, just goes in a circle. It goes back. If you look at the circle, it starts at one point and it goes right back to that point. It's a circle, and that's what it is for all of us. And if you pay attention, like for me, I have to do an analysis of myself all the time. I used to do it once a year, but what I do now, I do it. I do a check every 3 months. Okay, so I'm gonna Romans 7:14. Uh, I'm gonna read the whole thing because I think this is something that I like this particular scripture because it is so real. So real. Okay. It says, "For we know that the law is spiritual." It's spiritual, people. So if you are a spiritual person, you wouldn't have to read books. You only read the books supposed to prepare you for your spiritual self, and the way the gatekeepers, the gate blockers have blocked that. But it's open for everyone to become the spiritual person that they are today. So you have no excuse. Now, again, for we know that the law is spiritual, but this person says, but they're carnal. Why is they carnal? It's because they look at the physical thing. They operate off the five senses of the physical, not the five senses of the spiritual. Because if you don't know, the five senses are is also spiritual. Many never get there. Uh, 15 says, "For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would that do, I not. But what I hate, that I do." Do you ever say that to you? I hate I did that, but you did it anyway. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that is that it is good. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. What is sin? Sin is nothing but lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge of who you are and what you are. That's the problem. Most people reject the devil in them. Most people reject the dualism in them. Most people reject the higher and lower self in them. Most people reject that there's another entity within. Most people reject that because people don't want to be, they don't want to be negative, but yet they are. And so, but here's a person I suspect that at scenes, and this Bible has been rewritten, mainly by the patriarchals. It started out with the patriarchals, the Essenes, and then it wound up in continually in the Essenes' hand. Okay, now it says, "For I know that in me, that is in the flesh, that's the physical thinking, dwelleth no good thing. For to win, for to will is present with me." but how to perform that which is good I find not. So this person is saying, I don't know what's going to help me. I can't perform good by myself. For the good that I would do, not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now, if I do that, I would not, it is no more I that do it, but the sin that dwelleth in me. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. Remember when I tell you when you go into meditation, there's a war that's going on, you're trying to just meditate, and then some stupid stuff will tell you, girl, go get on the internet. Sally Bessie is performing. So you jump away from your meditation and you go do something else. That's the sin, the ignorance in you. That's the evil in you. That's the negative in you, because it does not want you to elevate. Now, for I delight in the law of God after the inward man. See, that law only is applicable to the inward. But I see another law in my member, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. Okay? They telling you the way of the physical thinker. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of death? Letting you know that the physical body is just that. I thank God through, we're gonna say Christ. Now keep in mind, Christ is the within the head, it's in the higher self. So then with the mind, I myself serve the law of God, but with the flesh, the law of sin. That's what you do. That's what everybody do. We focus on how we're going to gain the things of the world, things like money, things like houses, things like cars, things like good time, like sex, things like gambling, things like shopping, things like doing my nails, doing my hair, things like playing golf, things like entertainment, all that stuff, because that's what it is stuff. It has to be balanced. And if you are in sin, which is lack of knowledge, you won't know that. So, this is why I'm talking about drinking. You got people that say things like, um, you ask the question, what is an alcoholic? They'll say the alcoholic is a person that drinks every day. Wrong. An alcoholic is a person that drinks. It doesn't matter if you drink once a week, once a month, the holidays, you're still an alcoholic. Why? Because it's a repeated habit. Remember, I did a video, and habits are the same. It's the same. Anything that you do repeatedly is addiction. Addiction and habits are the same. Okay, I'm going to read temporary effects you may notice while drinking alcohol or shortly after. And these are just some I experienced, can include some of them I experienced. And keep in mind, I drink because I had several different issues going on with me. And plus, I was having spiritual war going on, that I really didn't understand the spiritual war at that time. And so it was a battle. It was a battle. Peripheral nerve comes from heavy drinking. I remember one day I was sitting on the sofa. I used to drink wine, and then it got to a point where if I didn't get the wine, I would drink anything alcohol. But it had gotten to the point where the alcohol wasn't making me high no more. What it was doing, it was causing me to black out because I was drinking it fast and I was having lack of memory, which is the peripheral nerve that comes from the heavy drinking. Persistent changes in mood swings. I just wanted to be by myself. I didn't want to be around nobody. Included slowed and slurred speech. I definitely received that. Anxiety, impulsive behavior, I did. Irritability, trouble focusing on making decisions, I did. For a temporary moment, I had insomnia and other sleep concerns. I weakened immune system, meaning you might get sick more often, which I did, because the alcohol destroys the immune system, and you get all these little results from it. Changes in appetite and weight. I did not want to eat. I just wanted to drink. I didn't have an appetite to eat. I was forced to eat. Problems with memory. I told you you black out, and when you black out, you have memory gaps. And then at times with certain things, you have a problem concentrating. You have nasal and vomiting, head pains, loss of coordination, changes in hearing, visions, and perception, increased tension and conflict in your romantic and your family relationships, numbness of the extremities, most commonly in the leg. You didn't know that. Let's just say, for instance, you were a person, a heavy drinker for years, and then you got older. All of a sudden, you got leg problems. You got leg problems, probably because of your drinking. I used to wonder why they would ask me, "Am I drinking back, or do I smoke?" When I would go to the hospital for my legs, and I've done some research in what the medical people say, and that was the problem for me, the drinking, because I was very I used to roller skate, and I used to walk 3 miles daily, and I should have kept it up, but I didn't. But I think the problem was I also was in a real bad accident. I hit a truck, and all my bones was broken. So it's a miracle that I'm even walking. It's a miracle. My left eye, uh, blind in my left eye. Um, and yes, I have pains in my body, but I still find reasons not to be miserable and unhappy, because it's so many things I can be grateful for, and I do, and I am. Okay, so there's a tingling or pins and needles sensation in the extremities, pain or burning sensation in the arms and legs, difficulty walking, cramps, aches and weaknesses of the muscles, difficulty talking and swallowing, erection difficulties. This is the man that can't get it up, and he have a problem getting it up and keeping it up is because of the alcohol. Difficulty urinating, constipation, diarrhea, heat intolerance. At times you get hot. Drinking too much alcohol over time may cause inflammation of the pancreas. And think about the pancreas, resulting in pancreatitis. Pancreatitis can activate the release of pancreatic digestional enzymes and cause abdominal pain. Most of all, your liver helps break down and remove toxic and harmful substance, including alcohol, from your body. Long term alcohol use interferes with this process. It also increases your risk for alcohol related liver disease and chronic liver inflammation. Sugar levels. The pancreas helps regulate how your body uses insulin and responds to glucose. If your pancreas and liver don't function properly due to pancreatitis and liver disease, you could experience low blood sugar. A damaged pancreas can also prevent your body from producing enough insulin to use sugar. This can lead to very serious problems. If your body can't manage or balance your blood sugar levels, you may experience more significant complications and side effects related to diabetes. Now, I brought this to your attention because not only you will experience those problems, if you are a driver and you tell yourself, "Oh, I can drive. I can just drink two drinks and then drive." It is that very moment you can drink two drinks and fall asleep under the wheel and have a fatality. It happens all the time. That's the other thing. Now, I'm going to tell you what stopped me from drinking. What stopped me from drinking, I did not want to deal with my problems. I just wanted them to go away because there were so many problems. And I used to drive drunk for quite a few years. Uh, the last 5 years of my marriage, I was drinking alcohol. And I was drinking them because I had problems that I could not fix. And you know how you want to fix problems that you have, and sometimes it's beyond your ability to fix them. You have to get outside help. So instead of me doing that, I drank and drank and drank and drank. And so what happened to me was I was in a series of car accidents that I hit something while I was driving drunk. And it's fun because one day I had a dream that, excuse me, I had a dream that the police got in behind me and I went to jail. And sure enough, Marietta police took my butt to jail. And they was rather mean. And they were mean because one of their fellow officer had died from a drunk driver. I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. And so that was my first DUI. So after I got a divorce after the 5 years, I went back into the spiritual part of myself. So I wasn't drinking. And so it seemed like nothing was getting any better. So I went right back into the club scene and went back to drinking. And when I went back to a drinking, then I wanted to commit suicide. And that's when I hit a truck. And the result of that was all my bones was broken. And I didn't receive pain right away uh, afterward, but I'm experiencing the results of it, of that accident and other careless things that I did to my body today. And so what happened was I decided, ooh, I drank me some wine and I said, shoot, I'm going to go back up there and get me another bottle of wine. Went back up there to get another bottle of wine. I blacked out while I was driving, hit somebody. Now, I had never hit nobody. And when I hit somebody, that person had an old, big old Cadillac, but he got $50,000 from my insurance automatically, which I wasn't mad about because I shouldn't have been out there. But here's the thing, that right there uh, caused me to stop drinking. Oh, and they sent me to class, and I went to jail for 10 days the second time. But that wasn't what stopped me. What stopped me is that long as I believe I was hurting myself, then I wasn't hurting nobody else, and I hit somebody, that's when it became a problem. So when I looked and I saw that I had hit somebody because of my irresponsibleness, that stopped me from drinking. And then when I stopped drinking, it made me realize how I was affecting my children. And I'm not sure about the ex-husband, but I realized how I was affecting my children, because I do know my children loved me. And so that was the beginning of healing for me. So at that point, I started taking on every problem that I had. I did in meditation, and so I began to see things differently. My situations, my problems began to be different uh, when I start looking at it different. And it's been a beautiful thing ever since then, because that's why I can tell you, you have to take ownership. Getting these temporary fixes is not going to help your problem. That one of the other things that I want to bring to attention, when you and your mate uh, break up or go through problems, it's not going to do you any good to go and have sex with somebody else, because now you're going to bring another problem into the bedroom. You're going to bring that person that you had sex with spirit into the bedroom. It's best to take ownership. Take on, if your problem is you and your mate is not compatible, get a divorce. It's hard and painful. I had to do it. My ex-husband and I, we were not compatible, because I was going one way and he was going another way, and then he went out and involved somebody else into the marriage. And so once they involve somebody else in the marriage, it's a done deal. Either you're going to accept that new person that they have involved, or you're gonna have problems, or you're gonna get a divorce. It ain't but three options. And so I realized all that, and it took some time. I realized that the loneliness that I was feeling, that was one of my problems while I was married, had to do with my spiritual life. My spiritual life wasn't in balance like it should have been, because I was relying and waiting on my ex-husband to come with me, because come with me mentally, come with me. Let's do this thing together, and that never happened, because he had his own set of problems before we got married. That's what we need to understand. We need to be very, 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 very open and alert and aware of the people that we get involved with, because they can contribute to our own problems without uh, us knowing that, because you don't get to see them until you actually involved with them, because a lot of times they're not going to tell you that, you know but the reason why I did this video for people like the young people, the ones that blame their mother, their father, and whoever raised them. You can't blame nobody no more, because once you become an adult, the responsibility is now on you. I just read that thing in Romans 7. Take a look at it. If in fact I read something from the Bible, I'll tell you I consider it to be a good thing. And then I'll tell you uh, it is a lie. But the ultimate decision is yours, because you have to do what resonate with you, and what does not resonate with you, that's what you got to deal with. And I'm encouraging the young people to take ownership. Some older people like myself, they are settled in their ways, and they would never take ownership. Even if you go and approach them and tell them, they still not going to take ownership. I had to disconnect myself from some people that was there with me when I was drinking. All they could do was bring up my drinking. They couldn't say, "Oh, you girl, I'm so proud of you that you ain't drinking no more." Yes, they watched me drink and fall down a hill, and scrape my knees, and just falling out drunk. They watched me go into the clubs and go to sleep at the bar and get put out, from the club because the bartender didn't want me sleeping at the bar. They watch that, and that is what, because they're miserable and unhappy, and they don't deal with their, they don't take ownership on their stuff. They going to reflect on you. They going to reflect and take you all the way back to some shit that happened to you 50 years ago. I ain't gonna say that, but really 10, 20 years ago, you know. And that's just what people do. So I'm here to encourage and take a look at what alcohol does. Take a look at what uh it's more drugs than drugs. You know, alcohol is a drug. A lot of people don't know that. Anything that you have uh habit with is a drug. And if you're repeating it, it is a drug. Some people don't realize it's also a drug to go and overdo exercising. Oh yeah, some people are very habitual in exercising. Some people are over habitual with working. You know, if they have their own business, they do it day and night, and they have mates and stuff. You have to do things. Would I ever encourage people to do alcohol or any other substance? No, because your body, the only one that can take care of your body is you. And honestly, if I had known then what I know now, I would have not drank no alcohol. Uh, I would have not smoked marijuana. None of those things that was abusive to your body. So I'm encouraging you to think twice. Think about, yeah, I may be grown, but what is good for my body and what is not good for my body? Because the mind is a terrible thing to waste, for real, for real, for real. I'm here to tell you. But anyway, good people, think on the good things. Have a good one.